In today's first episode of the Sports and Psychology podcast, coming to you every Saturday morning, we're diving into the off-season and how we can set ourselves up for a successful training camp, season, and all the way into the playoffs or end-of-season tournaments. We're talking off-season goal setting. This is valid for coaches, trainers, athletes of any age, and all of you casual sports fans out there looking to get a one-up on your buddies in that next YMCA run. Yeah, you know who you are. This is for you too. If you're looking to take ownership over your growth, your goals, and set yourself up for success in your season, then you're right where you want to be. Hello, buenos dias, dobrý den, ohayo gozaimasu. Welcome to the Sports and Psychology Podcast, the weekly Saturday morning pod where we talk all things athletes, tactics, performance, and most importantly, mindset. I am your host, letting them three balls fly, Cord Thomas. I'm a mindset coach specializing in sports psychology, performance, stress and anxiety reduction, and mental preparation, having helped hundreds of clients and tens of professional athletes exceed their potential, reach their goals, and lead fulfilling lives. I'm recording today's pod right here out of my apartment in the beautiful Prague, Czech Republic. After becoming a two-time Taekwondo Junior Olympic medalist and moving out to Europe to study and play basketball, I really found my passion in the psychology of success. Before we hop into things, do me a favor, hit that follow button below the video or the pod to get updates on new episodes. And if you're here with me on YouTube, hit me with a like and a comment, and I will respond to everyone that does. Thank you for helping others to see this by beating that algorithm. And thank you for making the Sports and Psychology Pod your first Saturday morning listen. If you want to reach out and connect with me personally, join in our mailbag episode, or give me your feedback directly on Instagram at athlete.mindset, that is athlete.m1ndset, Twitter, athlete mindset, again, m1ndset, or email me directly at sportsandpsychologypod@gmail.com. Let's hop into things. We are about to hit training camps for basketball and hockey in about a month, new seasons for basketball and hockey teams, and we are about 6 games into the European football season right now. Not a lot of news and notes for you at the moment, as we are in the dead part of the season for basketball and hockey, but we do have FIBA basketball happening at the moment. Our Czech guys are playing hard, but with Tomáš Satoranský and Krejčí out for the World Cup qualifying, definitely struggling. Here's to hoping that they put things together as a host city of Eurobasket. I've been very happy to see the Bosnian beast Jusuf Nurkic have some great moments at FIBA, approaching the game finally with some more aggression, and it has been amazing to see so many of these European guys really feeling themselves back on courts and an atmosphere that feels like home. I did mention that Prague is hosting one of the Eurobasket groups, and on Monday the 5th, I will be going to see Serbia and Finland live. Lauri Markkanen is looking built and aggressive so far in World Cup play, and the Serbian team is stacked. Not only the two-time reigning MVP Nikola Jokic, but Miloš Teodosic, Nemanja Bjelica, Alen Smailagic, Nikola Kalinic, and more. It's going to be a great game that I will definitely update you on in the next pod. I would be remiss if I didn't mention the WNBA, who are mid-semifinals right now, both series tied at 1-1. I've watched all 4 teams quite a lot and was even down at the WNBA All-Star Game in Chicago this year. And let me just say I believe in Courtney Vandersloot. There's an elite level stoicism with her, where she never seems too moved and is always under control. To me, that's one of the signs of a great leader and a point guard. In football or soccer news, I won't comment the leagues at the moment, but something unfortunate has for sure happened with Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, having his family's house near his club Barcelona broken into. Shocking. Gabon's top goal scorer started in a friendly already this year against Man City, and with discussions around possibly moving to Chelsea this summer, this certainly resets a player's priorities and definitely can and will have on-pitch impact. Something that's key for all of us to perform our best is to feel safe. One of the greatest violations of our safety is someone breaking into our homes with weapons, asking us to open safes, steal jewelry, etc. Let me ask you, dear listener, if this happened to you, would you be able to go to work the next day, the next week, and focus on your job? A lack of focus either results in lower performance or even possible injury. Aubameyang is a professional, but this is an extremely traumatizing situation. And if your life or the life of your family are at stake, your sport becomes that much less important. For me, he just became someone to watch this season in interest to how he deals with the situation. Whether he truly looks to leave Spain even stronger now, looking to find a new club somewhere where he can build a new home, feel safe, or he decides to conquer his fear, stay with Barcelona, and maybe get into charity work to help the police or something to that effect, take control over that fear, or if fear and needs for safety somewhat take over and we see a much more timid, indecisive version of the player we knew because of this traumatizing scenario. In any case, I don't see any scenario where a person just decides to keep living their life after something like this. There has to be action and work done to combat that unnerving feeling that a person isn't even safe in their own home. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to be talking all things off-season goal setting. This is a friendly reminder, dear listener, to drink your water today. Did you know that an average male should be drinking 2.5 liters of pure, uncarbonated, and unflavored water every day? For you ladies out there, it should be 2. And if you're a top athlete or someone looking to lose weight, again, that number goes up. My approach to water drinking is to get in a 1/2 liter before my coffee in the morning and then another liter before lunch. After lunch, I just want to have a full water bottle around me all the time, so instead of nervously snacking or picking up my phone, I'm gonna reach for that water bottle instead. Drink your water, feel clean, replenish your blood supply, and be a healthier you. We are back, and finally hopping into this week's topic, off-season planning. We're at that point when school is starting and a lot of my athletes are returning from their summer vacation, or already have and are back in the gym preparing for the season. A perfect time to deep dive into setting internal goals and expectations for the upcoming season. Teams that lack a sports psychologist and good communicators usually whiff or miss hugely on this point, and it's part of the large reason why they don't end up having success. If we're talking about winning or success, then I would offer my equation. Success is the convergence of preparation, growth, determination, confidence, leadership, and communication. The topic of off-season planning theoretically covers all 6 of these determining factors for winning. So what is off-season planning? It is goal setting and expectation setting for myself before the season starts. Ideally, a month, 2 months ahead of the season so that I can already start working on achieving those goals before the season starts and I'm there ready to hit every goal I've set and every expectation I've set. Why? Why spend time planning? Why spend time goal setting? In my opinion, one of the biggest mistakes an athlete can make at any age is not taking an active role in their development. What does that mean? Not taking ownership. This activity makes the athlete the sole owner of their development and their goals. It's not the coach's responsibility, it's not mommy or daddy's responsibility, and it is not the manager's responsibility. If we take the time to plan and set goals before the season starts, then we take responsibility for achieving those goals. The same thing goes for coaches, for managers, etc. Set your own goals. Spend the time thinking about what it is that you want to achieve individually in your role, and take ownership. Which areas should we focus on? I challenge my athletes, my clients, to off-season plan in a multitude of areas. Let's start with growth. Growth meaning any way that I get better in the season. Let's set a technical growth goal, meaning I get better at shooting. I get better at a given skill. I get better at my handles, better with the puck. If I'm a hockey player, I'm a better passer as a footballer. And then let's look at a physical growth goal. Faster, stronger legs, more stable, what have you. And then a social or emotional growth goal. Social might be speaking more if I'm a shy player. It might be listening more if I'm a loud player. It truly might be not letting emotions take over, being that goal. Trying to stay calm, one note for an entire game or an entire season. Maybe that's not completely possible, but this is the general area of where we would be setting goals as. Feeling emotions, but not letting them influence how we play. Something to remember. Really important right now. Come back to me if you're taking a break or not listening. Something to remember. A goal has to be measurable. That means I need to know what it means to succeed. So if I say I want to get faster foot speed, that's not enough. I can say I want to improve my speed down the court one way and back from 4 seconds down to 3 seconds. Fantastic, that's a measurable goal. By the end of the season, I can measure it. I can say I want to consistently hit 80% of my free throws, whereas last season I didn't. I can say I want to have a pass percentage, successful pass percentage in football at 95%, where at last season I was at 80%. That's a 15% growth. Fantastic, that's measurable. I can look at that. I can check it during the season. If your goal is unmeasurable, it is not a goal. Next, we can move over to confidence or an internal feeling. What is a goal in terms of a value or personality trait that we want to represent throughout the season? That can be respect. That can be dedication. That can be hardworking. That can be honesty. Whatever that personality trait to create confidence, to create an internal feeling is, that is a fantastic goal. Challenge becomes how to measure it. And we want this to be measurable again. The athlete can measure each practice and competition in if they've shown up in the way that they expect from themselves. If my goal is to have an internal feeling of being dedicated, that means I show up on time. That means I leave later than everyone else. That means I put in the work. Did I do that today? Did I show dedication today? Yes or no? And my goal can be 95% of the season, I want to show that dedication. Fantastic. We have a goal. Lastly, I would look at a goal in terms of leadership. How am I a better leader this season for the rest of my teammates? Now, in team sports, I see every single one of the players as a leader in one way or another. Some players need to show up and lead in their role. Some players need to show up and truly be the leader of the team. Some players are leaders in communication. Others are leaders in effort. How can I grow this season as a leader? Does that mean being more communicative? Does that mean listening more to my teammates? Does that mean delivering a speech before an important game? Whatever that may be, let's set a goal. For some players, for some athletes, this may have been covered in the social emotional growth. It may not have. It's better to ask the question if that is the same or not. Okay, Cord. So your, goals are great and all. And I can tell you what I want from the season. Of course, I want to win and get better generally. Cool. Listen, first of all, if you're not a professional, then winning probably shouldn't be your main focus. Your growth and development should. That and enjoying the process of growth. Getting better every day and knowing that you're stronger, knowing that you're better. That is what you should be looking at and enjoying. Secondly, it's vague. The more laser focused we are on a certain area of growth or on certain areas of growth, the better we get and the more growth we'll see. If I go into a season saying, I just want to get better at everything, then I might, but only maybe 1% at everything. Whereas if I say this season, I want to become the top one-on-one, on-the-ball defender on my team, then I have clarity, motivation, and a definition of success. That might be a 20%, 30%, 40% growth in that one single area, but it feels great, and I know if I did it or not. Let me add a great tip here. Just thinking about it, or telling someone your goals isn't good enough. If you want them to hold value, get out your pen and paper, my dear listener. Write it down, and then come back to it at different checkpoints during your season. At the end of training camp, 1/3 through the season, halfway through the season, before the playoffs, come back to your goals, check them. Then you'll have something truly powerful. Listen, I'm happy with my YMCA runs. How do I apply this to my life? It is amazing that you enjoy your runs and are happy with where you are now. And it's okay not to be interested in growth if that's not a career for you. Your career, though, your relationships with your colleagues, your relationship with your life partner or lack thereof, or your relationship with your parents, your family, your children could definitely use some off-season planning. Everyone's returning from vacation, kids are going back to school, and the work season is setting in where it's all hands on deck. Do yourself a favor and think about those areas we talked about for the athletes. Physical and technical goals, social and emotional goal, a goal in confidence, and a goal in leadership. For each larger area of life that isn't being fulfilled the way that you'd like it to be in an ideal world, fill out a set of goals. We don't live in an ideal world, but if we aren't setting goals at certain times of the year, we aren't going to get closer either. It is time for me to talk about my services. If this podcast has given you something to think about already, then you should think about individual sessions with me. I work in person and online with clients daily to help them perform at their peak, to help them lower their stress and anxiety, focus on setting and meeting their goals, find career paths that they'll love, and to heal and repair relationships that have been neglected, including the one to themselves. You have the chance now to start individual work with me before winter rolls around and my schedule fills, and you know it's going to, and there will be a waiting list. So take a look at booking a session at Coaching Praha, Praha. That is coachingpraha, praha.com/book online. Or reach out to me directly on Instagram at athlete.mindset. That is athlete.m1ndset. Twitter, Athlete Mindset, again, M1NDSET, or email me directly at sportsandpsychologypod@gmail.com. Welcome back. Now, I touched on this in the previous segment, but one of the biggest reasons we want to do off-season or preseason planning is so that we are as focused and productive with our time and training sessions as possible. For most of us, we don't have an unlimited capacity to train, develop, and grow. Let me say that again. We don't have an unlimited capacity to train, develop, and grow. It might seem like it, but we don't. Our brains and bodies are limited to what they can take. And our time is limited both in terms of how many hours we can be at the gym, and also in that there are other priorities in life than just training. There are, and there will be. We need to watch film, go to school or work, spend time with family, eat, sleep, relax, etc. Therefore, with this logic, the more focused and productive I am with the limited time I have, the better I will be at my craft or my sport. The better I am, the sooner I achieve my long-term vision. And that path towards being focused and productive starts with planning, starts with goal setting, starts by not only knowing where we have issues, but saying what the solutions are and what the goals are. The time invested in planning and goal setting always returns in multiples after a person starts acting on them because of the major boost in effectivity. Okay, Cord, I hear you, but I just want to have fun. All right, look, I don't want to ask anyone, professional or amateur 10-year-old athlete, to remove fun from the game. But here's what I would ask. Is it more fun to dominate? Is it more fun to see growth in yourself? Is it more fun to feel strong and fast and like nothing can stop you? Or is it more fun to be at the same level with everyone else? This applies to both teams and individuals. I would hope, dear listeners, if you're here, still with me at this point, you're pounding that dominate button. It is more fun to dominate. It is more fun to know I'm strong, that my body will not only do what I tell it to do, but even more. It's more fun to have the absolute confidence that I'm better today than I was yesterday, and tomorrow, once again, I'm going to be even better. If you can agree with me on that, then you can also agree that you want your training and effort to be effective and work. That means putting in the time, thinking, brainstorming, and planning how that success looks for you. So how do we go about setting these goals? Give yourself 30 minutes to an hour. Get out your pen and paper, and at the top of the page, write 2022-23 season goals. Write out the different headers: physical goals, skills goals, emotional goals, social goals, and leadership goals. For each area, do your best to write out 1 or 2, sometimes 3 sentences, such as this season, I want to put on 5 pounds of muscle, or this season I want to get faster. This season I want to be more stoic, more like stone, less affected by my emotions. This season I want to be a better communicator on the court. This season I want to be louder in terms of what I want when I want it. Or this season I want to be a better teammate, a better leader in listening. Then, go back and ask yourself if each one of these sentences is measurable. For the 5 pounds of muscle, it's measurable, but only if I measure where I am now. Same thing goes for getting faster. First, we need to know what our current speed is, and then set a realistic goal. That may mean going to the gym and doing some sprints to see what your average speed is. Then saying that by the end of the season with the same test, you want to be a half second faster. You're going to set goals that are emotional or communicative, that you're going to measure by if you go into each practice or each game with that goal and approach or not. At the end of the season, you can check off if you hit 50%, 80%, which is a great goal, or even higher. I hope this makes sense and gives you a clear approach on how to approach this activity. Once you've got your goals written out, then go back and set the milestones. Set the times of the season, put it in your calendar when you're going to go back to look at those goals and check if you are hitting or if you need to put in even more work, even more focus to reach your goals. Or maybe you're going above and beyond and need to set new ones. This first podcast episode was on off-season planning. I would ask that you take a look at the season. Go, where are points for me to reflect? Take a look at those season goals and then go back. Each and every moment that you have in your calendar to look back and reflect. I can guarantee you that you will find focus, you will find much greater growth, and you'll know about it and feel great about it because you're achieving your goals. You'll also find that with well-defined goals, you'll be more motivated. You'll be more confident. You'll know that you are doing what you want to do for you. And that's something no one can give you. The only way that you get there is by putting in that effort, doing it yourself, getting to a point where you set what's happening. Thank you for listening or watching here on YouTube to the Sports and Psychology Podcast. Please tell your friends if you like this podcast and if you think that they'd benefit from it. I am streaming every Saturday morning everywhere you can find podcasts as well as on YouTube. If you want to get your questions into a mailbag or give me your thoughts, please give me a comment below on YouTube or reach out on Instagram at athlete.m1ndset, Twitter athlete_m1ndset, athlete mindset, or email at thesportsandpsychologypod@gmail.com. Do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button below on YouTube. And remember, success is the convergence of preparation, growth, determination, confidence, leadership, and communication. Have a great weekend, everyone. Talk to you next weekend.